Okay, let's get two things straight before we get started. Number one, yes, someone screwed up. Not necessarily an actor, possibly an employee of the actor's agency, but somebody screwed up. Under no circumstances should any of the individuals involved in this leak be hounded by anyone other than Valve Software. If you are thinking of reporting the information in this video, do not go looking for the person's name to then report. You can report on the information, knowing full well that this is an actor, but do not try and signal boost the specific identities of the people. That is awful. Do not do that. As for the video, almost everything you're about to hear is real, is not speculation, and comes directly from data mines of Valve's recent updates. The only time something is speculation, it will be very obviously labeled. If we're in agreement on that, please keep watching. Since even before Half-Life Alyx was released to the public, but after it was announced, Valve and the team behind Half-Life Alyx started pre-production on another single-player title. We found out the codename of that title in 2021, HLX. There were arguments at the time and in the few following years that HLX wasn't actually representative of a full-fledged game in development, but maybe could represent an engine feature or was just a file format for saves. But in the interim, I have been slowly and silently digging into this story. HLX is a confusing one. HLX seems to be a fully fledged non-VR Half-Life game, something that seems too good to be true, and something that I wanted to be very sure of before actually going live with any of this information. Valve has been actively developing many titles on Source 2, and because of that, finding information on what is going on internally is easy. For a while, a lot of these big new features were being attributed to Citadel, aka Neon Prime, aka Deadlock. Things like voxel-based destruction, voxel-based hair follicles, vehicle simulation, Zen creatures. We now know, due to having played Deadlock, none of that had to do with Citadel, and all references to Half-Life were eventually scraped out of what became Deadlock. But that didn't answer the question of, what was the Half-Life Alyx team doing? What was Robin Walker's development team that was attempting to get out of the wilderness, as they told Jeff Keighley in 2020, nowadays? Because Half-Life Alyx was announced almost 5 years ago and fully released over 4. And as it turns out, that entire time has been spent developing the next major single-player title, codenamed HLX, and now, thanks to a screw-up by one of the voice actors on the project, we now know the internal codename that Valve uses to hide the real project name while casting voice actors is called Project White Sands. I'm not going to try and read into the idea of Project White Sands meaning anything in relation to the actual game. Valve has used different, very random code names when casting for things, such as Hot Dog for Left 4 Dead VR and Left 4 Dead 3, and Jamiroquai for Half-Life Alyx. Project White Sands is just one of those titles that is most likely being used to obfuscate any leaks that may occur. That said, the name Project White Sands leaking has come around the same time that we've learned about an unannounced title being in development, according to another resume by another former Valve employee that stated that between 2020 and 2023, this individual left the company in 2023, level design, layouts, lighting, combat encounters, and puzzles were being developed on this title. And while data mining, well, we've learned a lot, and I'm still in the process of data mining everything. I only a few weeks ago got back from my honeymoon, and planning my wedding took the majority of my time through this calendar year, so I have missed a lot of updates that I'm slowly catching up on. And there is a much larger, more coherent video in production that was supposed to be talking about all of this. I had to push forward some of this information because of this Project White Sands leak. We know, according to strings inside of things like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike 2, that the character you play as in whatever HLX is wears an HEV suit, goes, as the internal strings call it, off-world, where there are workers and things called storks and pentatanks feral man hacks, and my favorite, Zen gorillas, is a real thing that Valve at one point or even now is developing. It was an offhand reference in the zoo level of Half-Life Alyx, and they actually tested it, alongside Zen swoopers and Zen jellyfish, things that were initially cut from Half-Life Alyx, but have continued to receive some form of development according to the most recent updates to Valve's Source 2 projects. There is obviously more, including a very detailed simulation of drivable vehicles, and so much more. Do I think this is Half-Life 3? I gotta be very careful in answering that question. But yes, I think that this is a non-VR Half-Life game that you play an HEV suit wearing character in development at Valve Software that has been in development since Half-Life Alyx has released. Because it's been in development for over 4 years, also because according to Datamind's systems architecture has been slowing down, yet features architecture has been speeding up, it seems as if things are happening very quickly and are actually nearing a completion date sooner rather than later. There's so much more to explore in this story. There's so much more to unpack. But again, I missed the majority of 2024's data mining. The majority of the time that I spent in 2024 was trying to predict what eventually became Deadlock. Now that we know what that is, it's easier to discern between what's for Deadlock and what's for Half-Life. And now we have a much bigger picture on what the next Half-Life game is going to be. Codenamed HLX, this appears to be a non-VR Half-Life game that is single player or cooperative or both. It's up in the air. We don't know. And if I were to go out on a limb, this could very well be a Half-Life 3. There's a much bigger video in production right now that I have been working on for the last week. I have been doing almost nothing but data mining every update to every Source 2 project that Valve has put out in the last 12 months. This will continue to take me likely another 2 weeks of daily data mining, but if you're at all interested in this much larger project, much larger video, please get subscribed. According to my analytics, I think only like 40% of you are subscribed, so if you are at all interested in the big HLX video, please get subscribed. It's coming soon-ish. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on it. Please do not hound the voice actor who accidentally put this information out there. A lot of these resumes are written by the agencies and not the actors themselves. Someone screwed up. Yes, this information is public, but you don't need to go around reporting on the individual's name. Okay? I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support videos like this, get to watch them early sometimes, get your name in the credits sometimes. I have a Patreon and a float plane. Links to those down in the description below. Ongoing active conversation that involves me and all of my closest coworkers and friends is on my Discord server down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer. I'll talk to you later. Adios.